Hey, good morning, everybody. It's about 7:52 on this Thursday. And as you can see, I'm going to, this is actually a first for me when you think about it, because I guess you can thank um, Boomerang Australia for this and several videos uploading and streaming sites for this. But I got to see, along with possibly a lot of other people, I got to see episode 13, which should be premiering in about, I'd say, within a week from now, a week from Saturday here in the US. But I was able to get along with, like I said, along with a lot of other fans, I was able to get a first time viewing, or at least I was able to get an early viewing. Like I said, thanks to Boomerang Australia, thanks to various video uploading and streaming sites, I was able to get a chance to watch most of it, um, season seven's 13th episode, The Perfect Pair. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the episode that they show and then they go on a hiatus for about a couple months, maybe a month or two, but um, I have to say that I don't know what it is with the creative staff when it comes to these kind of Applejack centered or related episodes, but they always seem to do a good job with what they're given or what they come up with. Um, Amy Rogers, um, Amy Rogers, I know gets a lot of compliments for what she did with the main attraction back in season five, which was the third to last episode. And I totally agree with what they say there. I mean, what she did with the main attraction was probably one of the best written episodes at that time for the entire series, individually, not multi-part or anything. So to to kind of see something similar, maybe not by Amy, but by somebody else, see a similar kind of uh, how do I put this? Similar effort, if not overachieving effort, put into this episode, The Perfect Pair. I have to give the writing staff, the head writers, the creative staff, a lot of. I got to give them a lot of credit. You know, since I don't know when, I don't know if it's the first season, I don't know when the thought process was brought about, the questions were asked about Applejack's parents, whether they were alive or dead or whatever. Um, a lot of people, again, I don't know when that question was being arisen, if you will, but a lot of fans thought maybe the show wouldn't answer that question because pretty much the fan base, I guess, in the eyes of DHX and Hasbro, pretty much already knew in their minds, from a fan's perspective, probably they already knew that we fans pretty much had an idea of what happened. But for them to at least 7 seasons in now to finally touch upon this, it's really amazing. It really is. Just the way it was done. A lot of people could say it's similar to a slice of life like episode. You can kind of say it was, maybe if you want to look at it from that opinion. But I look at it more as an Applejack related, Applejack centric. I look at more of it like being a hybrid. I look at it being a hybrid of it's an Applejack related centric episode, but it's also parts slice of life because you're seeing all these other characters that would make sporadic appearances, cameo appearances, speaking appearances when need be, uh, playing a major part in this episode. I mean, you go from the return of Golden Delicious, the family historian for Applejack's family. You go to them encountering another pony who was friends with their father. You go to them encountering Mrs. Cakes, who was friends with their mom. And then you go and involve Mayor, um, who officiated the the comeuppance, if you will. They're well, basically wedded uh, Applejack and Big Mac and Apple Bloom's parents. Um, I have to say that when a story like this is done, sometimes it can be done right, sometimes it can be done wrong. I have to say this is one of those rare times that it was done, in my opinion, it was done right. Because even though one common complaint I've been noticing by some fans in comment sections and message boards is, yeah, we get to see the parents, we get to see how they came together since they were like little fillies and all that, baby fillies, whatever. And the connection they had with certain characters that even the main six interacted with. And yet the one constant complaint that some people have is we don't know what happened afterwards. Yes, we know they got together. Yes, we know they've had Applejack, Big Mac. They had Big Mac, Applejack, and Apple Bloom. But what happened? What happened afterwards? And you know, people have a right to ask that question because it's like, okay, you told us how they got together, how that you finally introduced us basically to the parents of Applejack, but through these flashbacks, this slice of life, like this Applejack slash slice of life episode. But there are fans that are wondering what happened to them afterwards. What happened? I mean, because it's pretty much indicated, even when you get towards the end, it's indicated that something, that they did pass on. That you know, both parents, Bright Mac, as we found out the father's name is, and Pear Butter slash Buttercup, um, their mother. You know we don't know what happened to them afterwards. We don't know if they went on a journey. We don't know if they fell ill to something. We don't know. There's still speculation of exactly what happened on the tragic side of things. Like, okay, it's pretty much indicated that they died, but how did it happen? And there are some people countering the comments saying that, well, Hasbro won't do that. Hasbro and DHX won't delve that far into that. Um, I don't know if people realize this, but Hasbro has been known to deal with death several times throughout its history. And I don't think it's going to hurt anybody. I don't think it's going to hurt anyone. I don't think it's going to hurt Hasbro. I don't think it's going to hurt DHX. I don't think it's going to hurt Discovery Family, Boomerang Australia, Cartoon, Teletoon Canada. I don't think it's going to hurt any one of them if they do a follow up to this to at least let us know what tragedy struck um, Buttercup and Bright Mac. What happened to them? My speculation is they probably came down with something and they knew, and despite going to everybody they could go to try to find a cure, they knew, and basically not getting the results they wanted, they pretty much knew their time was coming to an end. So my assumption is maybe they went off on a journey and left the kids in Granny Smith's care, knowing that she'll take care of them, she will raise them if they don't come back. And apparently they didn't come back, because if they went on a journey to maybe on the outskirts of Equestria, beyond Equestria, to find a cure, then um, then obviously, we know they didn't come back. But again, we don't know. We don't know that, and that's the speculation that. Sorry, my cup hit the mic there. But that's a speculation. A lot of fans still wonder about. And again, again, you're going to have people commenting and asking that question on Twitter within the next week, not just this week, but within the next week or so. You're going to have people asking that on Twitter, Facebook, several MLP sites. You're going to have them wanting to know directly from the writers, from the staff, are you going to explore the next step here? Are you going to at least acknowledge how this what happened to them? Because to a lot of fans, it's like, okay, you introduced us to us, you introduced us to them, you let us see who they are and how they came together, but what happened to them afterwards? See, that's going to be after they gave birth to after Buttercup gave birth to excuse me gave birth to Applejack, Bright Mac, Big Mac, and Apple Bloom. What happened? What caused what befell them to uh, be gone for most of the kid's life? And I don't know if Hasbro will ever ever DHX and Hasbro will uh, follow up on this. Honestly, again, like I said, this is Hasbro. They've been known to delve deep into this over throughout the, I guess, 40, 50 plus year history. And, I wouldn't be surprised if they do follow up on it, because I can tell you this right now, they're going to get a lot of fans wondering, um, wondering what happened, still wondering what happened. And I know the old saying is that's left to the imagination of the fans, that the fans, the bronies, the Pegasisters, could come up with their own conclusions. But I think, as great as that is, and I'm sure bronies and Pegasisters and fans of all ages, pretty much feel that's great too. But I think what's more satisfactory for that fan base, for this community, is getting a direct answer from Hasbro itself, from DHX itself. So, again, as satisfying as it might be to leave it up to the imagination of the fan base and community, I think what's more satisfying to them is when the direct source itself gives a direct answer. So, hopefully, maybe they'll do that. I don't know. But I would like to see it myself, honestly. I would. You don't have to show them dying or anything. You can just show maybe, how, what circumstances led to what, and if maybe they had to go on a journey that pretty much they knew they may not come back from, because if they go beyond, let's say, Equestria to try to find a cure, that they may not make it all the way to possibly where they need to go to find said cure. So, again, I think so. Again, I think that's going to be the one complaint I think the fans are going to come out, come away with as far as this episode is concerned, because this episode is definitely one of the best ones they've done this season, if not in the past several years. I mean, here's the thing: the song they had Buttercup sing, a lot of people would say it's the kind of song that you could have someone like Kelly Clarkson or Taylor Swift, or whoever, sing sing themselves, and it could be played on the radio and people would enjoy it. So, for fans to compliment in that way, that kind of tells you that the writing staff and whoever wrote this episode and even wrote the song did a bang up job. There's no hiding it. I mean, the fact that again, not to give much away, but you have Applejack, Apple Bloom, and Big Mac go from go from one pony to another to another to another in a sort of slice of life way, and getting more information about their parents and about this whole feud, this decade-long feud, a family feud between both the apples and the pears. It was really good, and to see that Big Mac had more of a speaking role in this episode than he's had, and I think in a while, maybe except for the recent one where he fell in love with I can't think, was it Cherry Lee or somebody else? So yeah, to see him have a role, a more of a speaking role and presence in this episode was pretty good, and especially for him to go to one of the ponies after to go to the second pony they go to get information about the parents. For him to go back there after that pony, I think his name's Burnt Oak. I can't think. I don't know if that's true or not. But for Big Mac to go back there and ask if they can come back to this guy for more information about their parents, to get more stories about their parents, and for that pony to say he would love nothing more than that to happen, definitely shows you that there is potential with Big Mac, and with like there is potential with a character like Big Mac having more of a speaking role in screen time than I think he's been presented with um, in the past several years. So sorry, my finger hit the mic again. But overall, I did like the concept that you had, because right at the start, you have Apple Bloom of all characters wondering what is this feud all about, and then that kind of sparking the curiosity in Applejack and Big Mac. Like, I don't know, I can't really say why this feud, why this feud exists or what's going on. So, because it sounds like because what it sounds like to me, and again, not to give much away, it sounds like even at the beginning when Applejack and Big Mac kind of explain the situation to Apple Bloom, it almost sounds like they recently as well have been wanting to find out from Granny Smith, but it's like Granny Smith is like mum, it's like she's mum. She doesn't want to say anything. So uh, so for Apple Bloom of the CMNC to be the one that ignites that curiosity for all of them to want to know what's really going on, and for them to get the information that they did throughout is, I have to say, one of the best written stories and episodes of any show that I've seen, animated wise, perhaps in the past several years. Doesn't matter if it's My Little Pony, doesn't matter if it's rebooted GI Joe. um it doesn't matter if it's you know, DC's animated universe movies. This to me is probably one of the best storytellings you're going to get, because this is something that actually happens in real life, believe it or not. There are grandkids, there are great grandkids, there are even siblings that want to know more about family history and maybe see if there's some kind of connection. And for them to, and and for any family to want to know more, they will go to different sources to try to find out the truth. And I like that aspect. I like the reality, the realism, if you will, that was set into this. I really did. I like the realism set into it. And yeah, some people could say it was kind of more of a Romeo and Juliet kind of story, and it was. But the one thing about Romeo and Juliet that we all know is it ended in tragedy. We know that, like I said earlier, we know that Applejack's parents died, but we don't see how it happened. We don't know how it happened, how it occurred. And like I said, there's going to be a lot of people within this week, and most importantly next week, they're going to want to know more about that. I mean, to them, this is going to be a good stepping stone, a good starting point, but they're going to want to finish. They're going to want a conclusion, and maybe hopefully they'll get that. Overall, like I said, I like the fact that As I said earlier, I like the fact that this is kind of a hybrid episode. It's a Applejack related centric episode slash um like I said, I like the fact that it's an Applejack related centric episode slash slice of life episode because of the involvement of all these other characters. And to me, this is something that we need to have more of. One one comment that some people have had is maybe we'll find out more about how the other main six's parents got together. Maybe we will, but again, it's totally up to Hasbro. But to me, this is probably one of the better episodes they've done in quite some time. I mean, as far as Applejack centric or related episodes, this ranks right up there at the top of the main attraction. I mean, I don't think anybody could deny that. I don't think anybody could deny that this ranks up there with the main attraction because when Amy Rogers did the main attraction, she could have chose any pony to be the childhood filly friend of Rah Rah, but she went with Applejack because she was more the down to earth, more realistic character to go with. And that's the same here. That's why the Apple family was chosen for this episode. Not just to finally answer the question for fans and about Applejack's parents and how they met, minus not knowing exactly what befell them. Hopefully, fans will get a follow up with that. But to but but the fact that Applejack and her but the what I'm trying to say is the Apple family is the more realistic family in the show at times. Not saying that there isn't realism sometimes portrayed with Rarity and her sister, or the, I guess you could say, stepsisterness between Dash and Scootaloo. But to me, this is probably the reason I think the Apple family, Applejack's family, is always chosen for these kind of episodes. Is like I said, they're more down to earth, they're more realistic, and again, that's why I think Amy Rogers went with her in main attraction, and that's why whoever wrote this episode went with her and her family on this one. And I just like it. I just liked the concept overall. I especially liked the ending. I really did. Again, not to give much away, and my finger hit the mic again. I do apologize. But again, not to give much away, I did love the ending. I loved the symbolism it kind of gave at the end, because to me, it shows you that it doesn't matter where you come from or who you are. That if you truly love each other, if you truly love each other, you truly care about each other, you'll always find ways to come together. You'll always find a way to be, as the title puts it, the perfect pair. So overall, again, I love the story concept. I really got a kick out of it. Again, I love the realism in it, and I think that's what sometimes is unexpected with this series. Is sometimes there will be episodes that will invoke a lot of realism and reality into them, and this is one of those episodes. Because, like I said, there is a realism to it that many families will go out and explore their history, want to know more about the connection they have. So I do like that. I really do. And all I can say is if you have not seen this episode yet, tune in to some of the various, go to some of the various video uploading streaming sites out there. Try to watch it, maybe download it. There is a website, I think called Yay Ponies, I believe, that has the episode. I would check it out there. If you got torrents, if you trust torrents, I would try to get the episode there. Overall, I really enjoyed this. I really did. I know I'm repeating myself here. I do apologize. But again, I can see now why the writers, when it comes to these kind of story arcs, even for one episode, go with certain characters. This is why, again, like I said, this is why I believe Amy Rogers went with Applejack as Rah Rah's Philly friend, childhood Philly friend, in the main attraction, and the connection she had with her, the personal connection they had, because it was more real, it was more down to earth, and that's why I feel that they've done the same thing here, and you can, in a sense, feel the realism. You can really understand and relate to where this family's coming from because what they find out, the background about why the feud happened, you know the fact that their mom is from another family that has a different name and stuff like that. It's just great to watch, and I could watch it over and over again, and I highly suggest a lot of people watch it as well. So really, that's all I'm going to say on it. I don't think I can say any more than, like I say, go to the various video uploading streaming sites, find it, watch it. You'll definitely enjoy it. And again, I know there's going to be some people that will come out of it and be like, well, that'll come away from it and be like, well, what about what happened afterwards? I mean, we know obviously, even with the symbolism at the end, that the parents passed away or something happened to them to where they passed away. But what? And hopefully, maybe for those that are curious, Hasbro might give us an answer. DHX and Hasbro might give us an answer. So, but we'll just have to wait and see because, they still might be like, well, it's up to you. You pretty much know what happened. You, the fans, the community, pretty much know what happened or know what happened to the parents. We don't really need to expand on that or put any exposition onto it. But, you know, but maybe they will, maybe the fans will tweet them, Facebook them enough to be like, hey, look, give us a conclusion to this. Do an episode for next year or something like that that gives us a conclusion, or next season that gives us a conclusion. So, um, again, I can't really say any more than I would highly recommend watching it. If you don't want to, if you want to wait till the U.S. premiere, which I think is this week or next week. Um, I think it might be this week. I'm not really sure. You have to check, but I think either this week or next week. Go ahead and wait till then. If you want to watch it again, like I said, the various uploading sites out there and streaming sites out there, go ahead. But again, to me, it is I think it's one of the best episodes they've done. And again, it ranks right up there as far as Applejack centric related episodes. It ranks right up there at the top with main attraction. There's no doubt because, like I said, you can see why the Apple family, and if not Applejack, gets chosen for these kind of episodes because of the realism, the down to earth and realism that family brings to the show. So that's all I'm going to say. Let me know what you guys thought about this, and thank you to those that were watching live across Twitter, Facebook, the MLP forums. Thank you all for watching, and again, let me know what you guys think. And like I said, if you want to wait to the premiere either next week or maybe this weekend, I don't know when it's going to be on Discovery Family, go ahead. But if you want to watch it now, there are various sites, like I said, that have it. And that's all I'm going to say. So hopefully I didn't give much away, but I do highly recommend watching it. And I will talk to you all later. God bless. Take care. Thank you all for watching live.